My name is Reginald Zaheeruddin. I was born in Pakistan on the 8th of December 2007. I was with my driver and we were driving to Dera Ismail Khan. We were obstructed by a car. From that car emerged 5 tall young men, all covering their faces and with AK-47s, and they just pointed the guns on us and blindfolded us, and they said, if you make any sound, we'll blow up the car. We are wearing suicide jackets, we have hand grenades. They drove us onto the mountains. They stopped and took us into a house. They gave us very thin bedding. It was very cold. We had no toothpaste, no toothbrush, no comb, no soap to wash, and we would just get 2 liters of water to drink and to wash ourselves. There were rats running around in the room. There were lizards in the room. Such a terrible night. I can never forget it. The first morning, this man comes in and he said, wash yourselves and say the namaz. Namaz is the Muslim prayer. And I pretended that I don't know their language. I told Khalid to tell them that I am a Christian. He was very furious and he said, if you don't accept Islam, we might behead you. Thursday all day I was so afraid because I knew that on Friday they are going to take me to the mosque by force and they will ask me to convert. A young boy came in and he said that the cleric is calling you. I just shouted at him and I said, I'm not going to come. Tell him that I want to remain in my own faith. And he said, just come and pretend you are converting and say the namaz. And I said, no, I'm not going to come. I was just praying and I was deep in prayer, not realizing that I prayed until 6 o'clock in the evening. In the night when the cleric came, I asked God, by the Holy Spirit, please shut his mouth and he shouldn't talk to me. And I pretended as if I was sleeping. And he also sat down on the bed and he just started snoring after a few seconds. And that was the work of the Holy Spirit. In the midnight, the doors opened. They blindfolded me, tied my hands with chains, and they were asking me questions, and they knew almost 90-95% of myself. And then they said, we want you to take off your clothes because this is not your Islamic dress. So they forced the shalwar kameez on my clothes. And they said, why do you wear a necktie? And I said, everyone in Pakistan wear suits and ties and everything. And they said, no, we don't consider them Muslims, they are infidels. You wear a necktie because that is a sign of cross hanging in front of your neck. He said, why don't you change your religion? And I said, because I believe in Jesus Christ and I believe that he was crucified for my sins. And then he just shouted and he said he was not crucified. Anyway, he said that tonight you have to accept Islam, otherwise we'll behead you. I said, before dying, I would like to ask you a question. That is there anywhere written in the Quran that people should change their faith with force and terror? He had no answer. And at that time, I heard a sound which said that you will not die, you will live and proclaim the good works which I have done for you. And he then said that nobody is going to talk to you about religion now. We want a ransom of 20 million rupees. And I said, I'm a poor person. And they said, we know that you have a brother and a sister in Australia. Your son is studying in London. You have a house in the south in Hyderabad. You can sell that. This is not a big money. We'll definitely get this. And I wrote down all what they dictated. And while they were reading it, I just prayed a small prayer. And I said, if they get this money, 20 million rupees, they will take thousands of innocent lives. So instead of that, just take my life. And again I heard that sound saying that you will not die. So from that day on, I was just praying to God, and I said, Father, I forgive the Talibans. I want to see their hearts softened, and I want to go from this place without paying any ransom, because Christ has paid my ransom on the cross. I was praying 18 to 20 hours every day, every night. I had nothing to do, just to pray and sing all the songs which I knew in all languages, English, Urdu, Pashto, Punjabi, Sindhi, all languages. God gave me strength to do this. And at about 7 o'clock in the evening, the doors opened, and these 5 men came back in the room. And this time they were so nice and polite to me, and they just came and sat down, and they said that you are a nice person. We have inquired about you, and you have treated Talibans and so many things, they said. So now we don't want a ransom. That night I had several dreams. Next morning when I got up, I just told Khalid that God has shown me that I'll be going on Wednesday with you, with the car, and we'll get all our belongings, and you'll be driving me on the Miranshah Road. On Tuesday, the 1st of January, it was New Year's Day, and in the afternoon when I got up from my prayer, and the doors opened, and the man was not covering his face, and he had 2 pairs of new clothes. And he said, congratulations, you are free. You are a lucky person. And no one goes out from this place alive. And he said, your God is a great God. And he said, you have had a miracle in your life. He took out the belongings, wallets and mobiles and everything what they took. After half an hour, the car also came. While he was driving, he asked me, Doctor, for 10 minutes, think that you are not a Christian and I am not a Muslim. Just tell me something about Jesus. And I was just shocked, and I said, oh, a Taliban council member is asking me about Jesus. And I didn't waste any time. And when I come to the cross, told him about crucifixion, he was not comfortable, but he had to listen to me because he had invited me to speak. But anyway, he stopped the car and he said, I can't go beyond this point because the Pakistan army is looking for me. So he called the driver and he said, drive on this road. This is the Miranshah Road. And I said, Khalid, didn't I tell you that we'll go on Wednesday? In the afternoon, we'll get all our belongings, we'll get the car, we'll go without ransom, and you'll be driving me on the Miranshah Road. Exactly what I was told in the dream. And he had tears in his eyes. And he said, your God is a great God. I think everyone has a certain amount of faith, and no one knows how much until we have to pray 20 hours and 25 days just with the Lord.
That's great.